Here we go. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I'm so glad y'all are with us. We are here to support you, and it's a learning curve for all of us. So rest assured, we're all doing this together, but I'm very proud of you. You all are our heroes. So happy to see your faces. Thank you for joining us.
So we also have Rivers on. Rivers, do you want to introduce yourself? There you go, Rivers, you got it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm Rivers McKenzie. I'm also a gifted and talented specialist working on the Javits grant. And like Irma said, I'm excited to see you all here today. Thank you.
And managing with me and helping out is Dawn Irons. Dawn, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Dawn. I work in the Curriculum and Instruction Department at OSDE, along with Robin, Irma, and Rivers. I work on the Oklahoma Excel project, which you may or may not have heard of, and I'm really excited to sit in on this meeting today and help out in any way that I can.
Perfect. Thanks so much. So that is our amazing team. I could not have GT by myself without the help of these. Dawn is going to be managing our chat box today. So as you guys pop questions into the box, she's going to be helping out. So utilize that chat box. But I want to talk to you a little bit. First and foremost, one of the most important things during this time of distance learning is your self-care. It is really hard because right now our home is our work, and for many of us, home is also school because we have kiddos running around the house. So as we start this idea of distance learning, try as best as you can to separate work from home. I am preaching to the choir, preaching to myself. I've set up our spare bedroom as an office, and I leave it at the end of the day and I shut the door. To try and stay away, because it's so easy to step back into wanting to help all of you and answer questions and help your guest time. Make sure you do that. Also, identify some support structures at home and in your families to support you. I have a few girlfriends who are not in education that I reach out to and touch base with. We've been doing Zoom calls at night or some FaceTime. But it really just helps try to find a little bit of structure because you have to take care of yourself before we can take care of our kiddos. And taking care of you and making sure you are safe and healthy right now is just as important as getting our students onto the path of learning. So make sure you're
I'm thinking that perhaps Miss Robin was having some connectivity issues and got booted off. So I'm hoping that Robin will be able to get back in and join us. I'm going to ask that, since I don't know the content, I'm just helping out on the tech side. I'm going to ask, I'm going to go ahead and unmute either Irma or Rivers, and wondering if one of you two lovely ladies could take back over on the agenda. That Robin.
Hey, Dawn, can you hear me?
Oh, and just like that, she's back. Welcome back.
This is what happens when 4 people are streaming at the same time in your house. So thank you. So we're going to figure this all out together, guys. So one of the things I was going to say is give yourself grace. That's the most important thing right now as things work and things don't work. We're now a family of 4 at home trying to stream and schoolwork and work. So we're just going to try our best and we're going to move forward. And when things work, great. When things don't work, you punt and you just keep moving forward. So that is one of the most important things to think of right now. That couldn't have come at a better time. So one of the things is that we're all questioning right now is, what is distance learning? Those are the words that you're going to hear because that is what is going to happen between now and May. So distance learning is really just trying to provide a continuous learning opportunity for our students from April 6th through the end of the school year. And this distance learning is very important to remember that it may or may not include technology. Distance learning and online learning are not synonyms right now. We're just learning how to take learning and make it happen inside the homes of our families that we support. Each district has a mandate from the State Board of Education to create a distance learning plan. So your district is currently working on that. They probably started last Wednesday as soon as the State Board of Education adjourned. And so they will be getting in touch with you very shortly on what you'll be focusing on and how you'll move forward. So the decision of what to teach and how that will look is going to be made by your local district. The other question we hear most often is, what is grading going to look like? And that too is a local decision. That is something that your district will make a decision on moving forward. We, as the State Department of Education, have put together some learning guidance for distance learning. And these are documents that are going to help support your districts in making your own plans. But please know that your district has flexibility in meeting the needs of your students and families. Even within the same district, it could look different from school to school, as schools have different needs based upon their students. This isn't going to be like a regular school day. It's not going to be 6 hours of learning. It's going to look as it needs to look based upon the age of your student and the capabilities that they have within their school or within their home. And when something doesn't work, give yourself permission to move on. We as a State Department team, we're starting week 3 of distance learning ourselves. And we have tried many different things to make it work. We're still trying to revamp our processes. And so as you are going through things, give yourself grace, try things out. Try this thing called Zoom. It's a great thing. As you can see, Dawn has a fun background in the back of hers. We've all got some virtual backgrounds we've tried out. So there's some fun things to do. One of the things that we have done is tried to make a landing page for you where everything is in one place coming out of the Office of Curriculum and Instruction. So if you were to click on this link right here, it's going to take you to what we call our instructional COVID-19 instruction support. So these are all of the supports coming out of the Office of Curriculum and Instruction. And so the link is right there in the menu. The other way, if you ever just want to sit back and take a break, is if you'll just head to the State Department website, you'll notice this banner changes. So if you'll just sit back and breathe for 5, 10, 15 seconds, pretty soon the green banner right there will pop up, and that will get you right to our instructional support. So what you're going to find are some distance learning guidelines. These are guidelines that we have put out by grade band, and for the upper grades by content areas. And so these are just documents that are going to help you allow people to get to see what's happening. We're able to give you some guidance, some resources, and some materials. And so if you click on any of these, they take you straight to a PDF document that we have created. So what these look like is things to consider when planning for distance learning. These are questions that you and your district may be asking of, how do we reach our youngest learners? And how many minutes a day should our learners be interacting with school? What materials can they be using? How can we support our families? Many of our parents are now becoming teachers, and this isn't what they were supposed to be. They're moms and dads, and so we're going to help them as much as we help those students. So each grade band has some questions to think through. Also helps you think through, what does it look like to collaborate with your students and to receive feedback to them and from them. We've also made sure that those of you that are also serving our special education population, that there is a direct link to the special education page right here. They're putting out some amazing resources right now, especially designed for distance learning. And so there's a direct link there. Our ELL team is working super hard also to help you think through how we serve that population of students. So there's a direct link right there to our ELL page. Also, as we're thinking through the accessibility of our lessons, are they accessible for all of our students and following the ADA guidelines and what works best? Here's some universal design for learning tips, so you can click there. There's some practical advice that we've given here, just a few things for you guys to think through as you're going through this. And then here's your sample learning structure. So this is just guidelines we put together, but a first and second grade student, a typical day for them is going to be about 80 minutes. And so we've broken it down, and what does that look like? We've given you some instructional resources. These are tech links. If you have the capability to have some technology with your students at home, here are some direct links to the technology. We also have embedded a list inside each one of these learning menus that is for that grade level. So we've given some that are now specific and broken down. Inside these, we have embedded some gifted and talented resources. So we wanted teachers to remember you and the population that you serve, and we want to make sure that our gifted students are having access to some materials. So here's some online ones. So these are inside of this distance learning page. And so the other thing that you will also see are some sample activities. At the elementary level, it is especially going to be important, that integration of content, and thinking through what does it look like to have science and reading at the same time, or math and reading, or math and social studies. And so there's a lot of ways to stay connected right in here with some learning activities. The other thing that's going to be important right now is to utilize each other to stay connected. So we have 4 Facebook groups that are here. This is in first and second grade. So this is just the content areas. There's the Facebook group. Andrea put into the chat box, there is an OAGCT Facebook group that is dedicated just to gifted and talented teachers. We'll make sure and get a link to that in the notes if you're watching this recorded, and we'll make sure you have the link. Also, we wanted you to know that we will be here every week to help you through this process. So every grade band and content area will be having weekly virtual meetings like today. We will be having just a check-in. Each meeting will look a little bit different, but we'll be sharing ideas, allowing you a chance to collaborate and work together, and really listening to you and what do you need at this time, and bringing you together. So all of those are going to be linked within. So I just gave you a glance at what the 1 through 2 document looks like, but take a chance later today, after this call is over, you can look through the 3-5. Here's the PK through 5 specials. So if you're thinking, wow, how can I get some music or some art or some PE into my day? Here are some resources. For those of you that are middle school and high school, we have those opportunities available. So we have all of these things linked right here in that distance learning page. Also, inside of these, I want to show you the 3-5 document. We have what's called a learning menu. So we've given you some no tech examples. These are all techless, you could say, learning options that students could be doing at home. We understand that technology is going to be a point for some of you that we're going to hopefully not be a barrier. We want you to see it just as an opportunity to reach out and do learning a little differently. So we have some no tech options within every grade level and broken apart by content areas. But because we don't have a distance learning for GT yet, a distance learning document, we have created a GT learning menu. And so this learning menu is linked right here, and this will be the only place you find this so far. But Rivers and Irma worked very hard to put together this learning menu. And so it's broken down by the grade bands, but these are activities that you can share with your families that they can be doing at home. These will boost up the creativity and the learning opportunities for our gifted students. So there's some book talk questions and there's other pieces here. So these are just a few things to get you started, but we also have a distance learning task submission. And so we have created a survey that if you're finding an activity that you have been doing with your students, or once next week gets started, one that is really starting to be successful with your students, we would love to hear about it. If you'll notice, the learning menu was a Google document, and it's that way on purpose so that we can continually add things to it. So we have this survey here that you can fill out, that you can add your activities in here, and we can share them out. Because right now it's going to be more important than ever to utilize each other in this time of learning, as we're learning about distance learning as much as our students are learning. So that submission form is right here. It's also linked on our main page so that you have those opportunities to share out those. And again, I've just taken the chance to link the special education website and the EL website. So those right now are the things that we're putting out as a State Department to really help guide you and your district think through what is distance learning and how can we go forward. So as you think through these documents, make sure you're utilizing the chat box to ask any questions that you're not sure of as we go through here. Any questions that you may have of, well, do you have this? Or I wish we had had this. Because that's what we want to do, is try to figure out what ideas you're wanting, what resources you're needing, and see if we can meet you in the middle to do that. So Laura, that's a great question. How do I get this document? So what I'm going to do, Laura, is make sure in the chat box you have, there we go, Dawn's beat me to it. Dawn will get you that link. That link will get you right to the agenda. Everything blue and underlined in the agenda today is a link that takes you directly to whatever it referenced. And I've tried to put what it referenced in so you'll know what to click on. So the other thing we're gonna do is crowdsource a little collaboration here today. So as you can see on the screen, we have 4 squares here, a table with 4 boxes inside of here. And one of the things is that our gifted students need a chance to be creative. And sometimes being home and being in the atmosphere where we're always at, creativity is a little harder to come by because we're in the same place. We're eating, sleeping, breathing, schooling, and everything in the same place. So we're going to take a little time here to think about what is creativity look like at home, and how can we help our students be creative at home with what they have. Going to the store is not as easy as it used to be. And so we want to utilize what we have around our house, maybe what we have in our backyard, what we have in our neighborhood to be creative. So what we're going to do is I want you to make sure you have clicked on the link. If you're in the agenda, click on the link to which one of these fits you. And so you're going to click on that link and it's going to take you to just a completely empty table. And that empty table is just waiting for you to fill out some ideas. And I want you just to take one of these boxes and think about, how would I help my kids be creative at home? And what we're actually going to do now here is we're going to break out into some breakout rooms. If you've never done this on Zoom, this is a great opportunity. Zoom has a great platform where it can send people into breakout rooms to allow to have conversations. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna be in a room with 4 other people, and you're gonna have a chance to just sit and talk to each other. Make sure you unmute yourself, but you're gonna be in a room with about 4 other people. Take time, unmute yourself, share some creativity ideas. Make sure you've got that link pulled up so you can add those into the box. This should take you automatically. So I'm about to click the magic button. wave my magic wand, and you should see a box pop up on your screen that says go to breakout room. Now, for those of you that don't have a microphone on your desktop, that's fine. You're just going to utilize the chat box. And so if you don't have the opportunity to talk, you can use the chat box to break out into that. If you don't have video, you'll just see their name pop up. So we're going to send people automatically to the breakout rooms. You're going to be there for about 5 minutes. And then when the time is done, it'll bring you guys back in. So here we go. 5 minutes talking creativity with some of your other friends. Some of you still see me. Hi, friends. Some of you still see there. Let's see. So Leslie, you're just gonna break out into a breakout room with some friends, and you're just gonna share some ideas on creativity. So when it asks you to break into a room, you're just gonna have a conversation with a couple of friends right there. So let's see. Those of you that are still here with me, I'm gonna try and send you over to a breakout room. So nice to see all of you here today. Let's see what we can do. Okay, hey, Leslie, I'm gonna unmute you for a second. Did you have an option to join a breakout room?
No.
Okay, let's find you, Leslie. Manage participants. Let's see. More. I can't put you, let's see. Just a second. Leslie, let me see if I can figure out how to put you in a breakout room, okay? Same thing with you, June. Let me see if I can figure out how to put you guys in breakout rooms. Hey, oh, we're back. Let's see. It shot me to room 1. Okay, Leslie, let's see. I don't want to put you in a waiting room. I want to put you in a breakout room. See, this is what happens when you try to get really creative.
I know.
I thought this would be fun. We'll let people have a chance to talk. Let's see. Breakout rooms. Now see, I've lost my breakout room options.
Yeah, so I had the join breakout room underneath, but it doesn't do anything. It's like not.
It's not there. You can't do that.
It is there, the join breakout room, but I can't click on it.
Huh.
I mean, I can click all day long, but it's not going to.
But it's not taking you there. Let's see. And see, I've, as the host, have lost my option for breakout rooms. That is so weird. Like, I wonder. This. Thanks for being patient with me, guys.
No problem. I don't know what I'm doing either, so I'm just hanging.
So you know what? I'm going to unmute all of you that are here with me. I'm going to unmute you all, and we're just going to chat here together. So Ashley, and Kelly and June and Lisa and Kylie. We're just going to sit here and chat for a little bit together. So thinking about creativity, what is a way you guys think you can bring out the creativity in your students while they're home? What are you guys thinking? Hey, Lisa, can I wave at her? Can she see
yeah,
me?
that will help. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Hi,
I
friend.
got another Zoom meeting going behind me because my niece is in private school and her Zoom meeting is going on, so it's really loud. I'm sorry.
No.
I thought someone was talking, so I didn't say anything.
She's doing diagraphs.
So what I'm doing is I am saving up all of like the paper towel and the toilet paper rolls and everything from this toilet paper palooza, whatever. And I have some masking tape, and we are going to try to figure out some sort of, we're going to do the at-home version of like the roller coaster with the marble thing.
Oh, that's fun.
So we're going to be doing that. Even like your canned goods, if you take the top and the bottom off, unscrew them, you can use that in it too. Because I'm sure a lot of people are resorting to their canned goods right now. So anything that you can do, the bottles from sodas, anything, and just add on to it. You may even find out that you can do more of a Rube Goldberg idea, more than just a roller coaster. So that's kind of where we're going. It's kind of open-ended right now for my kids. So, and I have 9-year-old twins, so they're, they like that kind of stuff.
May I piggyback on that?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so one of the projects we typically do with our students, and we serve 2nd through 5th grade gifted students, but one of the things we do, we use a lot of recyclables, and we build all sorts of things like dioramas, and one of the favorite things for our 4th graders is to build a mini golf course hole. So first we incorporate a theme, all fun stuff during the school year, but that might be a challenge that your students could do to build a mini golf course hole on whatever
the audio
instruction
lagged
board
on that.
or something that they have. Oh, sorry.
The audio
tell me where.
When you said what we like to do, their favorite part is.
Okay. So yes, so mini golf courses. We create, each person gets to create one, or in a small group, they create a mini golf hole, and then we play through it. So that's literally just we have big boards that we use at school, but I'm thinking if you had any kind of cardboard box that you could break down and make flat, then you just use your recyclables to build up a mini golf course, and then they could kind of play through with popsicle sticks or, just whatever you have laying around. That would be kind of a fun challenge for them.
And, Ashley, building upon that right now, the PGA has been putting out a lot of videos of their own golfers making trick shots.
How fun.
And so I watched one the other day of Justin Rose, like shooting from his kitchen, through the garage door, through the golf cart into a hole. So, my daughters got inspired, and we just put a box in the backyard underneath the roof, and they were trying all the ways to get the ball back into the box.
That's awesome.
So that also makes me think of Rube Goldberg. So if you've done Rube Goldberg machines where they have to make something as difficult as humanly possible when it should be really easy in concept, allowing them to just create the biggest Rube Goldberg project that they can at home would be a really open-ended, and I don't want to say easy because Rube Goldberg's not easy, but that might be a fun challenge for them.
And there's some really cool videos that some stay-at-home people have put out that they've been doing with their kids, and it's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, excellent. So thanks for coming in. Some of us, we didn't get into a breakout room, so we just stayed in the big room and had some conversations. But I hope you had a chance to really think about, right now was a chance to help our kids be creative at home. There are lots of YouTube YouTube videos of how to draw, how to paint. That's right, Donna. Thank you for sharing that there. There's also, my kids have loved Mo Willems, the author. He's been doing doodle time at lunch. So if you haven't seen that, he's made his own YouTube channel. And so he, every day at noon, he is now at the Kennedy Center as their artist in residence. And so he's been doing some things like that. Escape rooms online, that's a fun one. So what I hope you do is we're going to keep those links live that were in the agenda. So we're going to keep adding to them. Actually on Friday, we're going to come back, and if you have a few things, we're going to revisit that. But one of the things that I want you to stress is thinking about what does creativity look like. Your gifted students are going to need an outlet right now at home to think about how to be creative, how to be innovative. And so that's where I hope us as a community can come together to work on that and think about ways that we can help our students be creative and ways we can help our teachers be creative and be innovative and think about, as they're working with your students in the regular classroom and they're giving activities and ideas, how can they build that creativity into it? So a couple of things on the agenda I want to make sure that we get to before we end our time today. No, you don't want to see grades 1 through 2. You want to see this one. So these links are going to, let's see. Here we go. You don't want to see this, nor you guys can see how many meetings we do in a day. So I have so many screens open.
Well, maybe Robin, while you're finding that, we can have a little conversation. One of the questions that came up in the chat was from Stacy, and she's wondering if any of you guys have used Google Classroom for your gifted, talented students. So if anybody wants to reply in the chat to Stacy or to the whole group and kind of let us know how that's going with your students if you're using Google Classroom.
That is a great point. Yeah, Stacy, thanks for sharing that out. And then I love that you guys are going to put these ideas in the chat box to share out, but please make sure you're utilizing these 4 links right here. I'm going to keep them live. If you are watching this as a recording, please make sure these links are being filled up with activities. And as things go along, we'll be revisiting these back and forth. So another thing is the State Department of Education has an FAQs for the COVID-19. And this right now is sitting at about 25 pages, but every week it gets updated as we have the latest and the newest information. So this is just a great website that you can link and bookmark as things come up. The one thing I appreciate is it's always dated, and so that the latest information, make sure if it doesn't have a date of this week, you might go back to our homepage and make sure that it is being there. We will have these weekly meetings every week at Friday at 3 o'clock. I know it's not the most ideal time, but as the department, we are trying to schedule about 15 meetings a week. And so we had to spread them out to make sure our Zoom accounts are not overwhelmed and also work around your schedules as you become distance learning teachers. So we will be having meetings at 5 or 3 o'clock on Fridays. This Zoom link will be the same Zoom link we use every week. So you can just put it on your calendar. You can just write it on a sticky note. We will start this Friday utilizing the same Zoom link every week. My goal is on Fridays to just have a 30-minute drop-in time. That way we can share resources, communicate, and think about what is learning, how did it go this week, what can we learn from, and what can we learn for the week going on. So we have a couple of minutes here, and you guys, one of the things before you leave today also is I want to know directly from you, if you haven't had a chance to share out today because you don't have a microphone, or maybe some of you are in the car driving and you're utilizing on your cell phone, but there is a feedback form here. one of my goals this week will be able to read all of your comments and your feedback about this meeting and think about what do you need. I want to make sure that this time each week is utilized to help you be a better distance learning teacher in the gifted and talented. So I want to make sure that we share resources, we're giving you what you need, the help and the support that you need. And if it's just a chance for you to come be with others that understand what you're going through, that's what we're here for. So there is a feedback form here that is tied directly to today's meeting. So if you could take a chance and open that up before the day ends, and by the day ends, I mean the end of end of the day, just think through this meeting, give us some feedback, and we'll be able to think through what you need as a support system and how can we create that. Dawn, we have a few minutes here. There's so much going on in the chat box. Were there any questions that we needed to take care of possibly?
Not seeing any specific questions. There's just a lot of ideation and sharing among colleagues. But if you have a specific question for Robin or the other folks on the Javits team, go ahead and type those in. This would be a great opportunity to get a little FaceTime with the team.
And you know, we have a few minutes also that if you want to unmute yourself, you know, we're not too overloaded and we'll have a little bit of grace with each other. We can see if you want to just share out some ideas, or if there was a great thing that you talked about in your breakout rooms. I am seeing an idea here about a Google folder. So I definitely think that's something from the, we can access. We can create a Google folder. Inside of that folder, we can put links to different documents, different things that you share. If you would like to send me the links to things that you have created, I am more than happy to make a copy so that your first document doesn't get ruined or doesn't get changed in any way. And we can create a Google folder of just resources to share out for teachers. That's a great idea. So,
Robin, Jennifer has a question regarding some screeners. She says they weren't able to finish their blanket gifted screener before the COVID-19 pandemic. Do you have any guidance or suggestions on how to proceed with that?
Jennifer, that's a great question. And so if you weren't able to finish your universal screening, what we can do is just halt it for this year and we can start at the beginning of next year. It's gonna maybe have to look a little different. So if you were a school that screened second grade, like Christy just brought up there in the chat box, next year you may have to screen second and third grade. Now, I know some of our forms or our assessments change by grade level. So if we're giving it at the beginning of the year, it would still be okay to utilize the previous years. So for example, like Christy's from Tahlequah. Tahlequah does their assessments at second grade. They could still use that second grade assessment for the beginning of third grade because those students would have been tested in second grade if they were there. So we can just move that testing to the beginning of next year and we can just double up a little bit. None of you are unique in knowing that you didn't do that. I appreciate you doing best practices and utilizing universal screening. So we'll just move it to the beginning of next year and we'll access our students that way. Local advisory board meetings, that is a great question. And how do we follow Open Meetings Act? Actually, the only meeting that is required by your LAC or your local advisory committee is the one by October 1st. So as long as you already had your one meeting this year, you do not have to have another meeting in the spring. If you would like to have a meeting in the spring and utilize Zoom, we can do that. I'll get in touch with our legal counsel about the open meetings. And Dawn can help me think through that. We've had some others within the Office of Curriculum and Instruction who've been toggling with the same ideas. But as long as you've had your one LAC meeting, you are good to go for the year. and you are more than welcome to cancel the other LAC. Another question Lori brought up is, will there be grace starting within 3 weeks? Yes, ma'am. We will offer some grace when it comes to August. One of the statute does say that we will start gifted instruction within 3 weeks. We are already looking at pushing that back to 4 or 5 weeks so that we can have additional time for assessments at the beginning of the year. Some of you also might have been one of the lucky 25 that were picked for monitoring. We do monitor 25 districts every year. Some of you were able to complete that monitoring with your RAOs. Some of you did not get that monitoring completed. So what we are actually doing is we have our legal team looking at it because it's very vague in state law, because it says 25 have to be monitored every year, but it didn't say if that's a calendar year or a school year. So we're looking at seeing if we can take those of you that are being monitored and just move that to the fall and still be under the guidance of the law. So if you are a school that is being monitored, you will hear from me directly once I have wording from our legal counsel, and we'll be touching base with you directly on that. I think local advisory committee, resources, screening. What about the gift report due October 1st if we are all testing kids from this year? Jamie, that is a great question, and I will have to get back with you on that because that October 1st is our child count deadline. I will see what we can do. Our gifted numbers are pulled from the WAVE, and the WAVE does that report October 1st. So that's why we need to move back that 3-week window so that you can have time to test and get those kids uploaded. But let me reach out to our data people and see if we've thought about that, which I'm sure someone already has, and what that looks like about getting our students uploaded, since we will have, some of you will have more testing responsibilities than ever. And while we're talking about deadlines, one more thing to think about is your August 1st expenditure report. And this may not be on some of your radars, but by August 1st of every year, August 1st, your expenditure report for your district has been due. That expenditure report showed how you spent your money from the previous year. The school board last week allowed for carryover of state money. So what that means is if your district is not able to spend all of your gifted money because they were purchases that were going to be made in this spring semester or field trips that were going on, you will be able to take that money and carry it over without penalty to the new school year. And then you will still get your new year of funding. And so what I'm working with right now is I'm working with state aid to see what that means for our August 1st expenditure report, because that number will just be a snapshot of really your school until spring break as far as gifted expenditures, except for your salaries. And so you all and your district CFOs will be hearing from me on what that means, and you'll be getting more information coming. We've had to prioritize at the State Department of Education as things come up. And so being that we're an August 1st date, we've put it back a little bit. So June says, what about COGAT testing? It was planned for the first week of April. Do my second graders take it first thing in August? So June, yes. So those second graders that were going to be tested next week in August, you can just test them next year as third graders. Use that same form, that same second grade form. Since they're virtually at about the same place as when you left them. And so you'll just move it to that date in August and set up a time for there. You can do that. I appreciate you guys spending time first thing on a Monday morning with us. We are here. We are just a click away. We are all from our homes, as you can tell, or Dawn's floating somewhere out in the ocean. But we are all working from our homes too. So we are just a phone call or an email away if you need anything. This week, I'll work on getting a Google Drive set up for GT teachers across Oklahoma. We'll get some ideas put in there. If you don't mind taking a glance at this survey and leaving a little bit of feedback so that we can make Friday's meeting everything that you want and need, we hope to give you what you are looking for. So without any more questions, we're going to say thanks for coming today. Irma put it in the chat box and she said it earlier, we are just one step away from you and supporting you in whatever we can do. So thank you for taking on this new thing called distance learning. Thank you for being the support that your students and your families need. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Make sure you take care of yourself as we go through this process. And we appreciate all your hard work. So have a great day and we'll see you Friday at 3 o'clock.